chaotic scene. Multiple people suffering from gunshot wounds, several trails of blood. A skirmish line was actually established to help secure the area as investigators began canvassing for evidence and talking to witnesses. Now, one man around 30 years old was pronounced dead here at the scene, and we've learned a 52-year-old woman drove herself to a hospital where she later died.
Man, the land was on fire yesterday. Every month is somebody Hood Day, and they doing it big. Yesterday was A Trade Day. From Manchester Park to St. Andrews, it was going crazy. It had an after party downtown. I seen Treyway celebrating. He was going big in the sale. I know it was hella penners, big tacos, and sliding down memory lane for him. Everybody else was outside. They was having a good day, it seemed like. It did things took a cold turn at the end of the night. It was like 1 o'clock. Some of the Alps was outside, laying on the spot. You know that drop easy to get. People posting the location left and right. They like, oh yeah, they right here. While the Trays was celebrating their day, they Alps was trying to up the score. You know these after parties can go into the wee hours. The sun will be coming up. People running in and out, getting other people, going to grab stuff, etc., etc. However it went, whether the party was over or not, them boys got cracking. 8 people were shot, 2 was unalived. Everybody jumped out the minivan. This couldn't have been 1 or 2 people. Where they had some real buttons on them blizzies. 2 or 3 of them just getting off. Shit, I mean, 1 man can do that damage with 1 button. But I'm saying, no defense or nothing, all them people. That thing go off, it sounded like Jurassic Park, so people definitely gonna be moving around. But if it was 1 person, it would have been retired fire from somewhere, so I'm thinking it had to be multiple people. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Out those people that was unalive, 1 was a 52-year-old woman named China. She was hit and drove herself to the hospital. She made it there, but ultimately she will lose her life. The details around her surgery aren't clear. I don't know if she had one or she died before the operation. She was the day 1 A tray. Crawling there, not flown there. Rest in peace.
We are following some breaking news at this hour. That breaking news happening out of Los Angeles, California. And this is a live look right here at downtown LA as 2 people have been killed, 6 others hurt in a Los Angeles, California shooting. Right now, LA police are currently investigating this after gunfire erupted at a street party in downtown Los Angeles overnight. That is according to officials. And that is where we find Fox 11 LA's Mario Ramirez with the very latest. And Mario, I know that this is breaking news. Details are still coming out, but what can you tell us so far?
Hi, Stephanie. We have an active homicide investigation by the LAPD. And as you mentioned, this is just getting started, this investigation. When we initially got to the scene a few hours ago, LAPD investigators told us they were still working on a full count of victims involved. But as you mentioned, 2 dead and 6 injured here following that gunfire. And you can see the activity here down the street where we can see the body still remains covered by a white tarp there. And you can also see evidence markers, a sea of those markers in the street where the shooting happened, likely where bullet casings were found following that violence erupting here shortly after 1 a.m. Again, this is at a warehouse party, or at least just outside near Paloma Street and 14th Place. LAPD officers responding to shots fired, and what they found was a chaotic scene. Multiple people suffering from gunshot wounds, several trails of blood. A skirmish line was actually established to help secure the area as investigators began canvassing for evidence and talking to witnesses. Now, 1 man around 30 years old was pronounced dead here at the scene, and we've learned a 52-year-old woman drove herself to a hospital where she later died. 2 other men transported in critical condition and 4 others unstable. So that makes a total of 8 people struck by gunfire, 2 dying from their injuries. LAPD investigators say officers who were patrolling the area observed an armed suspect running into that warehouse around 11 p.m. They say the party was shut down. That suspect was arrested, but as people were still gathered here in the street, gunfire erupted, striking several people. We spoke to a few family members out here who were very concerned that their loved ones could be among the victims. And unfortunately, one man we were speaking to did learn that his 29-year-old son was shot and killed here. The motive behind the shooting remains unclear. The LAPD says they're investigating this as possibly gang-related. There's been no suspect or vehicle description, and they're working on gathering that information. But again, a shooting here near a downtown LA warehouse party that left 2 dead and 6 others in the hospital right now. That's the latest downtown. I'm Mario Ramirez. Stephanie, we'll send it back to you.
And Mario, you did say that the suspect is in custody right now. Police still working to gather a motive. Have they released any update as to when they might be speaking once again to the media? I know that this is still a very active scene as we see detectives right there still behind you combing through evidence. But when might we expect another update from police?
Yeah, we are getting updates as the morning goes along. There is a public information officer here on the scene, which they are providing updates. But this is where it becomes confusing because I did mention a suspect was taken into custody. That was the initial response from police at 11 p.m. An armed man ran into the warehouse party, taken into custody, and the party was shut down. Now, after that happened, 2 hours later, that's when gunfire erupted. So there still hasn't been anyone taken into custody from that gunfire, that incident. And witnesses out here we were talking to said it appeared that the gunshots may have come from a vehicle. That information is yet to be confirmed by LAPD, but once they get a vehicle and suspect description, of course, we'll have that information and be able to pass it along.
All right, a lot of moving parts. The suspect in that shooting yet to be in custody. Mario, we appreciate that.
For the out-of-towners that don't know, or maybe won't understand, it's literally somebody hood day every week, every month out here, man. So it's going up. You gotta keep your head on the swivel. The ops always looking to up the score, especially when you think it ain't coming.
At least 2 people have been killed in a shooting following a warehouse party overnight. 6 others were injured. 2 of them remain in critical condition. KTLA's Aaron Myers live now at the scene with the latest. Aaron, good morning.
Good morning, Jessica. We know that police came to that party. They shut it down, and then a couple hours of later, they were called back when shots rang out. And you can see this scene is still active here. They do have a large area blocked off near East 14th Place and Griffith for this investigation. The shooting taking place just down the street from where we are near Paloma Street. And family and friends of one of the victims, they did share this photo. They say this is 29-year-old Gregory DeRiso. He is in the red beanie. His father, girlfriend, and friends have been here at the scene all morning and tell us he is the father of 3 young children and that police confirmed he was killed in this shooting. And video shows what a chaotic scene it was. People running down the street trying to flee the area. Investigators say around 11 p.m. they saw a possible armed individual go into a party. Officers did shut down that party, which had about 50 to 60 people in attendance. They say one person was detained for possession of a firearm. About 2 hours later, they came back to the same area for a shots fired radio call. Now, a large crowd was seen blocking the roadway, and at one point, police also formed a skirmish line. Multiple ambulances arrived at the scene, the wounded on stretchers. Gregory DeRiso's father spoke to us this morning, telling us how he heard about what happened.
His friend, mom called me, and I answered my phone, and she tell me bad news. I said, what the bad news, crying? They tell me she believe her son tell her my son got shot. And I've been telling them to stay away from her son.
And at California Hospital, a large crowd was spotted outside. We believe some of the injured were taken there, some taken by ambulance.
That shit was real pandemonium. They was moving around out there, trying to get little. It's a cold game, because in them situations, it get hectic. People losing their mind. They losing all their shit, too. Car keys, phones. Some people ain't never been in them predicaments, or don't know how to react at least. They dropped every shot they had out there. It's hella markers on the ground. They said LAPD arrested somebody. That's probably one of their homies that came out there trying to get cracking. About time he tried to go John Wick, they like, we see a man right there with a blick. He slid back in the building. They knew that wasn't the man that just did damage, but they still had to get somebody. They like, he got some chunky shit on him. Hell yeah, man. It went live last night. I'm pretty sure Young Ang gonna be doing the segment and have a little bit more details for us.
Y'all know how it go. 8-month, 3rd day. August 3rd. So also, another community shares that day in the 8-tray Hoovers. And whatever number is an 8-tray around this world. Y'all know how it go, depending on what street you pushing, will be your hood day. If it's 52nd, May 2nd. You know what I'm saying? If it's 6/6, June 6th, and so on and so on. So however, last night, the Hoovers, I guess, had their hood day. 8-tray Hoovers had a hood day in a downtown area somewhere. And when hood days come, people are rarely thinking about protection. They thinking about the celebration, about to get the shirts airbrushed, about to look fresh for the set, who popping out to the set date, who I'm about to hit tonight, how much fun I'm about to have tonight, how much drugs I'm about to consume tonight. So for me yesterday, I'm not gonna lie, it was like any ordinary day. And it was supposed to be a special day to celebrate and rejoice with the comrades. But due to technical difficulties, my way, from things that's been transpiring and happening, I didn't feel the need to party. I didn't feel good about partying. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to stand on straightening. It should have been some straightening that should have been done before anybody thought about celebrating, shaking booty, or even thought that that was a good idea. So, however, that's what my mind frame was yesterday. But I did allow myself to go out, get me a pair of shoes, and get a few other items, you know what I'm saying, to put on.
And the fool, he said shaking booty. He ain't lying. It be hella party cribs trying to pop out, cutting rug. Like, where you been? From Manchester to St. Andrew, I'm telling you, it was park festivities. That, y'all, boogie.
But where I showed up to, if the energy wasn't right or what it was supposed to be, some reckoning was gonna be had. So, however, as last night transpired, some things took place. If you know, you know. If you was there, you was there.
Shit always a little different when they hit home. Shout out to them boys though, man. Young and Treyway. What's your thoughts about the whole situation and just the overall temperature in the city this summer? Long live China and the homie that lost his life, and speedy recovery to the others. Political street views, no fake news.